It was legend.
Wait for it.
Dairy. Legendary.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Steelers Sanctuary Podcast. I'm Dave, and I'm here with David Korup and Bob Quinn, and we are doing legendary NFL picks. Guys, how's it going?
Wonderful.
Amazing.
We're taking a look at the standings right now. I don't know how this is possible, but Mr. Korup is ahead. He's in first place at 9-4. I'm second at 8-5 from last week, and Bob is third at 7-6.
You'll now refer to me as the king of legendary picks.
We got to put a stop to this right now,
At
Bob.
least for this week.
I mean, I got to get it in now because it's probably going to go the other way.
We need to put a stop to this ASAP before it gets out of control.
Hey, you got to say, hey, at least we all had winning records. I mean,
True.
of course, these are for entertainment purpose only, but,
Yeah.
you know.
We were all 0-3 on our locks of the week. We got to do better on that for sure. And we had a game this week. The 49ers beat the Seahawks. So, Dave, you got that one right? And Bob and I got it wrong. So he's back. He's off to a great start already. And folks, if he wins this week, we're never going to hear the end of it. So,
Yeah, folks. I mean,
Focus.
I knew to pick the 49ers. It was obvious. These two, on the other hand, well, whatever.
I was telling him off when we had our little meeting. I'm not taking the Seahawks again this season. They disappointed me
I don't blame you.
2 weeks in a row. I'm done. Cost me some Davy dollars last week. I'm done. All right. Want to jump to our first game?
Absolutely.
We have the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is a London game, by the way. Favored by 2.5 getting 2.5 from the Chicago Bears, excuse me. Bob, you want to go first?
Yeah, absolutely. And just as you're following along, folks, whoever the team is listed first, either plus or minus, is the home team. The Jaguars, I mean, yes, London, neutral site, blah, blah, blah. The Jaguars play there all the time. Who knows? It might move there.
Yeah.
Yep. I like the Jaguars in this game. Number one, they usually play pretty well in London. They're playing back-to-back in London, which is a little unusual. I think that's the first time it's ever happened. So I think they found some things that worked last week. I like Trevor Lawrence, to have another pretty good game. I think the Bears can be scored upon. They do have a little bit better defense than they did last year, but I feel like this is going to be a Sunday morning shootout, and maybe we see Evan Ingram get back on the field, and the Jags find a way to win.
Nice. All right, Mr. First Place, who do you got for this week?
I think the Bears are going to cover. Look, ATN, he's banged up. They're going to have to use their backup, who's actually not bad at all. He's actually had a good week last week.
Pretty good.
Ingram, I don't know if he's going to play or not either. The only guy the Bears are going to be missing is Brisker. That's it. But Keenan Allen's going to be back in his second or third game. I see them having all their weapons. I don't think that the Jags are going to do that much, to be honest. I just think the Bears will definitely cover the 2.5 and win this game. I could see them winning by like 6 or more, to be honest with you.
Interesting. I'm going to take the Jaguars too. I think the London thing is a big advantage for them. They're so used to doing this. They do it every year. They do it a couple times a year, right, Bob? They're out there twice a year now.
I think this is the first time they've gone to, but I think it is going to be kind of a recurring thing. They give up one home game and one away game to go.
Okay. That's a big advantage, especially, having done it a couple times before. The Bears, I don't know if the last time the Bears played in London, but they got a rookie quarterback, an inexperienced head coach. I think that's going to be big. I think Jacksonville wins this comfortably.
Comfortably?
I think so.
I love it.
All right, on to the next game. The Green Bay Packers are at home, and the Cardinals are getting 5 points. Dave, let's go with you first. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think the Packers are going to cover. They got a ton of injuries. And the thing about it is the Cardinals got McBride back last week, and that really felt like a shot in the arm for them. Getting him back, I mean, they go and beat the 49ers. You hope they don't have a hangover from that game if you're going with them. But I don't think the Packers are going to cover. They're too banged up, and they're all systems go on that offense for the Cardinals.
See, that's funny you mentioned that because that's exactly why I'm taking the Packers. I think the Cardinals are going to be a little hungover from their big win against the San Francisco 49ers, and that they're going to kind of, especially being on the road, they're going to let up a little bit. I think the Packers take this game. I'm taking the Packers. Bob, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Packers here too. I think Arizona is an intriguing team. Some weeks they play on fire and you get the best. I mean, they upset against San Francisco. They played the Bills tough on opening day. But they're not consistent. Then they come out and just lay an egg. I like Kyler Murray. He's my fantasy football quarterback, but I think the offense in Green Bay is just too much for them. I think it'll be a high scoring game, but I do like the Packers to figure out a way.
Is he all three of our quarterbacks in fantasy? Dave, you have Kyler Murray too, right?
Yeah, I don't start him, but yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right, let's move on to the New England Patriots versus the Houston Texans. The Patriots are getting 7 points, and it's in Houston, correct?
I think
it's in New England. I'm sorry. It's in New England. My
England.
fault. Dave, start us off, Mr. First Place.
Look, Patriots got a lot of injuries. Stevenson's not playing now, and they're starting a rookie. Drake May's getting the start, right? Last time I checked.
Yep, Drake May is starting.
Injuries, and you're giving this guy the start? Yeah, I don't think so. And Mixon might be coming back for the Texans. So I'm going to say that the Texans cover with ease.
Bob, how about you?
If this was Bill Belichick, I might say something different. And I was torn on this, but I saw the alert about Ramondre, so
To be Smooth Jimmy's lock of the week.
Ooh, that's a big lock, all right. But
Lock of the week, baby.
I'm taking the Texans to cover here. I mean, a rookie quarterback. I mean, yeah, C.J. Stroud. There's no Nico Collins, but Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell. If Joe Mixon plays, New England's offense is pathetic. I could see, as long as they put up 21 in Houston, I think they cover this easily.
I'm going to agree with both of you guys. New England Patriots are probably the worst team in the league, or one of the worst, the bottom three anyway. You're starting a rookie quarterback against the Texans in their pass rush. That's a recipe for disaster. They had their chance last week, right, against the Dolphins to give them a soft landing and start. You know, Dolphins are all beat up. Could have started him there and got his feet wet. I live here in New England. They're all over the coach. They're all over the owner. Things are going south pretty quickly.
Dude, the
They're
Dolphins
counting
put
a
up
lot,
15 points and won.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Like, good lord.
Doesn't it seem like Brady and Belichick was 10 years ago now?
It does. It really does. It's amazing how far they've fallen.
Well, it feels like they were in the league for 100 years. So
It's true. If you're a Steelers fan, it felt like forever, for sure. Yeah,
I got the video equipment.
If this isn't a route, there needs to be an investigation because the Texans should throttle them. I can't see any other way. I almost went with this as my lock of the week as well. All right, next one up is the New Orleans Saints getting 3.5 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bob, start us off with this one.
I went back and forth on this a lot because the Saints are so good at home.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not a Baker Mayfield fan, and I hate to root for him, but something about that story. You know, I was very against the idea a couple of years ago, the Steelers bringing him in. Kind of regretting that now. I mean, I like Justin Fields and all, but I think Baker's got a little something special enough. And New Orleans seems to be in a little bit of disarray, which I was really surprised how they looked the other night. I thought they had their chances against the Chiefs. The Chiefs could have been had that game. Although, you know, quite frankly, if they could score in the red zone, the Chiefs probably would have won by 40 points. Something's just telling me Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are going to get loose. I really like Bucky Irving. I'm taking the Bucks.
All right, Dave.
Bucks cover.
Bucks too.
No problem. Carr's hurt. That really hurts them. Spencer Rattler, I think, is going to get the first start for them. Kamara's hurt for them too. He's banged up. So between those two things, and like he brought up, Irving is a really good running back. I think he's better than Rashard White.
Yeah.
So I think it actually helped them that he's going to be the starter. So yeah, I don't think they have an issue. I think Bucks cover. And he's right. Usually it's tough going into New Orleans, but right now they're catching them at the right time.
Well, guys, I agree with both of you. And
Smooth Jimmy's lock of the week.
ooh, that's a big lock, all right. But
This is my lock of the week. Spencer Rattler starting his first game. You know, the Buccaneers had a little while to prepare for this game. I can't see how the Saints, other than the fact that they're at home, I don't see how they win this game. Dave and I were kind of Spencer Rattler fans. We were almost hoping the Steelers would draft him in the third or fourth round just to have an extra quarterback, but it's a tough ask. Buccaneers defense is pretty good. Again, this should be an easy win for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so I'm going lock of the week for this one.
Nice.
All right, let's pull up the next game. The Tennessee Titans are getting 1 point from the Indianapolis Colts. This is who plays quarterback roulette in this game. Dave, you want to start us out?
Yeah, look, Richardson might play and Levis might play. He's got that sprained AC joint he's coming off of, and it's Will Levis. He's not really good. So I don't think the Titans cover. Will Levis is horrible. Sorry. He might have led the league in turnovers. I think he might still. That's how bad he was the first 4
Probably
games.
does.
Yeah. So look, I'm going to say the Titans don't cover. I think the Colts go in there. Pittman is now possibly going to play. Josh Downs
really?
had a full practice. Yeah, he's not as bad as they first made it out. Dude, there was news saying he was going to go on the IR. Now they're saying his back feels a lot better. So there's a chance he could play. If he plays on top of Downs, dude, I think you're going to see that there's going to be a couple turnovers by the Titans, and the Colts are going to take this. Colts win this. Titans don't cover.
Bob, what about you?
I think this is an Adonai Mitchell breakout game. I know I know how good Pittman is if he plays, but I mean he's still going to be limited. And Pierce is kind of a one-trick pony, and I think this could be a spot where yes, Josh Downs is really good in the slot, but I really see it. I loved him coming into the draft this year. I was really hoping the Steelers might take him in the second round. I like him a lot, and I think this will be a big game for them. Maybe Mason Rudolph ends up playing and this game's close, but with a 1 point line, I think the Colts win this game. They probably win it by somewhere between a field goal and a touchdown. And I think if Flacco plays the whole game, this might even be just a blowout, just a ridiculously small line. It could be a 10, 14-point game.
The Colts are in a tough spot, right? Because they probably want to play Flacco to win, but they kind of have to play Anthony Richardson for the future, so they're kind of caught in between. If Mason Rudolph was starting, I think I would pick the Titans because that's how bad Levis is. And, Mason's no superstar, but he's competent, and he could get him, I think, over the line. But he's not starting, so I'm going to take the Colts. This is a tough one. I hate the AFC South. I hate everything about it. I hate picking it. And these teams are so close together, but every year bunched together that you never know what's going to happen. So,
I feel like Houston's gotten some separation at this
yes, point. You're right. Houston has, but when they play each other, it seems to be close still. It's bizarre.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to predict which one's going to do what. And for those people out there who are Anthony Richardson fans, I kind of said this when we were playing the Colts a couple of weeks ago. This guy completed 46% of his passes in college. And somehow, in their wisdom, the Colts thought by bringing him to the NFL, granted, he didn't play a lot. He played about a season total for Florida. But somehow they figured they were going to get him more accurate in the NFL. Boy, has that not worked out.
It was a combine.
Yeah, he's a tremendous physical specimen. I mean, frankly, running the ball, I don't know that there would be anybody better, except for unlike Justin Fields, Lamar Jackson, he's pretty brittle, which he shouldn't be. He's built like Cam Newton and Ben Roethlisberger had a love child.
He's hurt a lot. It's kind of amazing. All right, let's move on to the Denver Broncos are at home getting 3 from the Chargers. This one doesn't make sense to me. This line, the Broncos have been pretty hot lately. How are they underdogs in this game? Dave, you want to go first?
Yeah, I don't got the Chargers covering. I think the Broncos actually win this game. Chargers came off their bye with a ton of injuries. There was like 16-plus guys with injury designations to start the week, facing a tough defense in their house. Herbert's one hit away from probably getting injured again. He is officially got no injury designation. However, we know You know how those injuries are with the ankles and stuff like that, dude. I could see this going off the rails for them. I see Denver winning this game. Like you said, they're on a 3-game winning streak.
Bob, what about you?
I think this is a breakout game for Ladd McConkey. I like the Chargers here to cover. I also think that Harbaugh is a little bit different animal as far as he will stick to the running game. He's not going to get drawn into trying to throw the ball around the field. I haven't seen the injury report. I thought Joey Bosa had a chance to play in this game, and if he does, Mac and Bosa are gonna just eat Bo Nix alive.
And that's a great point. That could be the key to this thing too.
Yeah, I'm not a Bo Nix fan. I'm not sold on him. I know he's played okay the last couple of weeks. Beating the Chargers would start to get me on board with that. I don't see it. I think the Chargers are way too physical for Denver.
I think I saw this is the lowest under. I think it's 35 for the week. Vegas is expecting a defensive battle. I'm starting to believe in the Broncos a little bit. I'm going to take them this week. I'm not really impressed with the Chargers. That, like Dave said, they're really, really beat up. You've got Justin Herbert, and you're playing this conservative run-first offense. I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to make them tougher after the last coach, who was kind of soft, and they played soft. So I get it, but man, it's like having a Ferrari in the garage and taking the bicycle out for it. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm going with the Broncos.
Is their wide receiver room worse than the Steelers' wide receiver room?
Who, the Broncos?
The Chargers.
The Chargers, yeah, I think it is. Depending on what you think of Ladd McConkey.
McConkey, they got Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson.
Yeah. Oh, they got Palmer. I mean, I don't know.
It might be better.
I've seen these guys have good games. That's the difference. Like, we've had Calvin Austin have one good game, and then everybody else nothing. So, yeah. I don't know.
Scotty Miller had a nice catch in the NFC Championship game 5 years ago.
Yes. So,
don't please. I don't want to think about the Steelers wide receiver.
I think we hold the crown for the worst wide receiver group, guys. I hate to say
it's got to be, right?
I'd
have to go back and look at it, but I can't imagine.
I was thinking about it.
This is supposed to be Chargers Broncos. We're too busy talking about the Steelers.
The Steelers podcast. We can get away with that. All right, let's move on to the next one. The Carolina Panthers are at home, getting 6 points from the Atlanta Falcons. Bob, you start us off this time.
Oh boy, I was torn on this because I was all about the Red Rifle last week. Boy, that let me down. That being said, you kind of look at this. You guys are high on the Broncos. I'm starting to get high on the Falcons, and these are two teams we beat. So as far as the Steelers go, so there is something to. I still don't think the wide receivers are perfect in Atlanta because Drake London to me is a slow, big physical catch guy, but he's got a really good quarterback throwing him the ball who's getting better every week as he comes back from injury. And I kind of like Ray McLeod, and Darnell Mooney is a speed merchant.
Darnell Mooney's been good.
I think they got some weapons there. I like Atlanta to cover here. I mean, who knows with Carolina what you're going to get? The Red Rifle might come out and throw 9 touchdown passes, but I'm not betting on it.
Yeah. Falcons cover 6. Cousins, London, Mooney, Pitts, and Robinson got cleared today. So all those weapons, it's going to be too much for that Panthers defense. And the Panthers got a ton of injuries too. Jadavion Clowney, I don't even know if he's going to play.
He's out. I think he's out.
He's out.
I think I read that today.
There's just no way. And by the way, that's my lock of the week.
Oh.
You
didn't let me get the...
To be Smooth Jimmy's lock of the week.
Ooh, that's a big lock, all right. But
Very big lock. Very big lock.
That was almost my lock, too, because I'm a big believer in Kirk Cousins. Now that he looks actually healthy, I think the Falcons can go far. I think this is a blowout. I know it's in Carolina, but this is like a 20-plus point blowout. I really believe in Kirk Cousins, and I like what Darnell Mooney's done, like we talked about. They got Bijan Robinson, probably one of the best backs in the league. And their defense is pretty good. So, yeah, Falcons big in this game.
And talk about a weird stat last week. Chuba Hubbard, 100 yards and a touchdown, and they lose 36-10.
Yeah.
Why is a running back getting enough carries to get 100 yards when you're down?
It's down the whole game.
Weird.
It's a good question. I
weird.
I don't know. All right, let's go on to our next game. The Dallas Cowboys are at home getting 3 points from the Detroit Lions. We all got a close-up and personal look at the Cowboys last week, and we didn't like it. I
Not at
believe
all.
Micah Parsons is out again this week.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just go ahead and go. I got the Lions covering this easily. They're very healthy, minus Kirby Joseph. I think that's it. Diggs did not participate yesterday. I don't know what he got today, injured designation-wise, for the game. But if Diggs is hurt, Zach Martin is hurt. He's got a bad back issue. So I just do not see the Cowboys winning this. I'm taking the Lions to cover.
I think it's a big revenge game for the Lions too. After what happened
After last year, yep.
Yeah, I think, and
Good point.
Campbell is that kind of coach. I don't want to use the C word, but he's probably the closest I've seen to Cowher in 20 years. I like him. I still think he's an idiot for losing the NFC Championship game because he was too stupid to kick a field goal. And yes, if you're Dan Campbell fans, I said it. He was too stupid to kick a field goal.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to come down to that here. I mean, I can't see. I was not impressed with Dallas last week. I thought we lost that game. I give credit to Dallas for hanging in and making the plays, and frankly, they were better on offense than our defense was. So, but Lions are too much. I got the Lions.
This should be the Lions easy. Every time I think the Lions are going to blow somebody out, though, they kind of scare me a little bit. I can't take the Cowboys. The Lions, like you guys have said, it's too much talent. They're healthy. They're coming off a bye, right? So they'll be ready to. They've had plenty of time to prepare for this game. I like Dak Prescott more than you do, Bob, but still too much Detroit offense for this. They should win by a couple touchdowns at least.
They're just so healthy compared to the Cowboys. I mean,
and they're the most fun team to watch on offense when they're clicking too. Gibbs and Amon St. Brown and Williams. They got
Laporta, all that.
Laporta. They're
I
a
also
fun
think-
team to watch.
I also think we did him a huge favor with Guyton. I think that's the tackle for Dallas.
Yep,
who
that
got hurt.
Yep.
That's Aiden Hutchinson against the
Aiden
backup.
Hutchinson's going to eat. Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
Yikes. That's
Like,
all I got to say.
The Lions are everything on offense I wish the Steelers were.
Yeah.
Everything. Drafting
Yep.
good players. I mean, they don't have the best quarterback in the world, but they just make it work with all the weapons and talent around them. Jared Goff's okay. He's what would you say, a little above average quarterback, but with all those weapons, I mean,
Yeah.
it's almost like the Steelers were with the Killer Bees. It's just talent everywhere.
Really interesting to see if Pittsburgh's season suddenly goes south and the Lions have a great season. If that offensive coordinator is available, the Steelers have a real
Okay.
decision to make.
Dare to dream, Bob. Dare to dream.
Yeah, he ain't coming here to be a coordinator, though. Just to be clear,
no,
he's not going
no.
anywhere to be a coordinator.
He turned down a job, right? What team did he?
Yeah,
he got
did
offered.
get-
I can't remember the team.
Yeah, I can't either. You're right, though. He got offered it.
Lions coordinator.
I can't remember.
God. He refused to go for a second interview or something.
Yeah, like the job was his.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't remember who that was, though.
It was Ben Johnson. Hang on.
I'm interested now.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm not seeing who the team was though that he turned down. Dang it.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Let's move on to the next game. The New York Jets are at home getting 2 from the Buffalo Bills. They have fired their head coach. First head coach fired, Robert Saleh.
Oh, 1 second, I got it.
Good.
Commanders.
That's what it was.
Boy, how
That's
dumb
what it
does
was.
that look now?
Yeah.
Yeah, with Jaden Daniels, he'd be riding high right now. But the ownership thing was weird,
Yeah.
at the time. So, yeah, he'd be
He had a
living life
chance
right
for
now.
the Seahawks job too.
Not to go on a tangent, but I'm not impressed with that Seahawks coach either. He's supposed to be a defensive guy, and their defense is terrible.
Yeah, they're horrible.
Yeah.
I'm not getting that. All right, back to the Jets game. Jets are getting 2 at home. This is Monday Night Football. Oh, Sunday night. No, Monday night. This is the Monday Night Football game. Dave, why don't you start us out?
Yeah, I got the Bills don't cover. I honestly think that one, the Jets, those players are saying they're playing for Coach Saleh. Like some of them I think said they were blindsided and upset about this firing, and I think they're going to really want to come out there. But here's the big thing: Shakur and Cook are hurt for Buffalo. They're both hurt.
Yeah, I saw Ed Oliver too, right?
Yeah, and that's an away game against that stout Jets D. Like, I don't know, man. The Jets are second in total yards allowed per game, and they're seventh in points per game allowed. They're really pretty good. So, like, if they don't have all their firepower going into this game, I don't see the Bills putting up that many points. So I think the Jets pull this off, to be honest with you. So I got the Bills do not cover.
I think 5 years ago, this is the classic Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to show everybody. I'm going to thumb my nose and they win it comfortably. It's not 5 years ago. I'm starting to think Rodgers is a little bit of a shell of himself, and I think a lot of pressure got put on him this week. Rightly or wrongly, I don't care who you believe. If your quarterback's firing the head coach, then you're probably the New York Jets. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, the Jets are dysfunctional. They've always
That's
been.
fair.
I mean, since Joe Namath, I think they've been dysfunctional. I can't remember them being really good at any time. I mean, maybe for a season or two. But I think Josh Allen. If Josh Allen hadn't gone 9 for 30 last week, I think there's a chance they pump up for him. But no, I think Josh Allen comes out and shows the world why he's Josh Allen. I like Dalton Kincaid to have a big game here. Watch out for that Ray Davis guy from Buffalo. He's going to get a real opportunity with Cook out. He might actually be the better back, and I like Cook. I think he's really good. But this guy is a beast. And
is Cook officially out?
I don't know if he's officially out, but
Okay.
I'm sure.
When I was looking at it today, he didn't practice all week. So if he plays,
he's
going to be given.
I don't disagree with you, Bob. Like, you're right, Gabe Davis. He's actually not a bad backup to have. Like, he's formidable for sure.
Yeah, if he's on your waiver wire in fantasy football, probably worth an ad.
Well, you know who's up is Irving is another fantasy guy. Irving's available on a lot, and he's projected for a good amount of points. Like, people need to run to the waiver wire for that guy.
Yeah, he ain't available in my league. If he was, I'd have him.
No, he's not available in mine either because I have him. I'm disappointed with the Buffalo Bills. I don't think this is not a very talented team at all. They didn't do a good job building this roster this year. They're leaving it all in Josh Allen's lap, and I think this coach is going to be the next one to be fired. Maybe not the next one, but he's this is going to be his last year, and maybe the general manager too. You can't have a superstar quarterback like this that just, let Stephon Diggs go and not really replace him. And
dude, it was a max exodus altogether. They let 3 or 4 of their main defensive guys go.
I didn't think they handled the cap very well.
All them guys, they let
go.
White. Didn't Devin White go? Or not Devin White. Well, who was it? Who was their really good corner? There's a corner that's really good.
Tre'Davious White.
Tre'Davious White. That's what it is. Oh, Devin White's a linebacker. Never mind. But yeah, Tre'Davious White. They let him go too. Dude, they let that whole defense go.
Well, I think they came to a realization. We're not going to get past Kansas City as constituted, and I think they've ripped it down a little bit. They're not saying they're waving the flag, but I think they're trying to rebuild it a little bit.
Yeah,
and just to trigger Dave a little bit, worst wide receiver room, Buffalo or Pittsburgh? I got Pittsburgh on this one.
Man.
Worse than. No,
I got Pittsburgh as the better wide receiver.
Better one. I don't even know who the Buffalo wide receivers are. That's how bad it is. I can't.
Deion Coleman, apparently Josh Allen hates.
Yep.
Looks
to be supremely talented. Sound familiar?
Mm-hmm. But that's it. They got Coleman and Shakur, which makes them better than the Steelers.
Well, now with George Pickens, I guess Shakur is better than anybody. It's definitely better than anybody else.
I'm saying at least they have 2 guys that can put up.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's not the.
I don't know how good
George
Shakur
Pickens
is without
down,
Josh
but
Allen.
He's the only one we can really say is. They at least have 2.
It's close. It's definitely.
Let me ask you a question though. If Shakir was in Pittsburgh, and Van Jefferson was with Josh Allen, Really think Van Jefferson wouldn't be better than Shakur with Josh Allen?
I think Van Jefferson's cooked, man.
Yeah,
he's cooked.
I don't know, man. I think he's
Maybe you
too.
could make the argument for Calvin Austin. Maybe if he was in Buffalo.
Similar
that one,
size and build. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, that's a good one. Calvin Austin.
Just
I mean,
'cause
it's
of
his speed.
Yeah.
And they apparently know how to use guys with speed, and we don't. So, yeah.
So I'm going to go with the Jets here. I think they get a little bump from the coaching change. I think that kind of lights a fire on the guys' asses. Yeah, I'm so disappointed with the Buffalo Bills. I just that performance, and Sean McDermott with his decision making. He's like a Mike Tomlin clone. He does the dumbest shit.
They went to
at the
college
worst times.
together. Didn't they play on the same team?
I think they did play on the same team. I think they share a brain, honestly. And it's just he's bad with the coaching challenges. He's bad with timeouts. Sound familiar?
And a defensive coach too.
He should not have been able to leave the field, not making the Texans use a timeout at the end of that game, and throwing the ball 3 times. That's just
unreal,
indefensible.
Yeah,
indefensible. All right, let's move on to our next game. The Philadelphia Eagles are at home, given 8.5 to the lowly Cleveland Browns. Who wants to jump on the Browns first? Bob, go ahead.
I got the Eagles covering. I don't understand. I mean, if you score 10 points, you can cover an 8.5 point line against the Browns. They might be the most. I mean, okay, look, am I happy that the Browns are severely paying the price for the dumbest contract in NFL history and for wrecking the quarterback market? Yes, I'm ecstatic. Anytime the Browns lose, let's face it. I mean, I'm ecstatic. But, I mean, this is bad. This is legendarily bad. I mean, I've heard every theory out there that, hey, tank, just cut him. Pay him the money. You got to pay him the money. Whether you cut him or not, you got to pay him the money. Just pay him the money and start over. And start over with all the young guys.
Because it all accelerates next year. It comes to $176 million cap hit. So they wouldn't even be able to afford a roster at that point. They need to keep him at least one more year.
Yeah, pay him to sit at home. I mean, I think
that's what they have to do.
Yeah, I think it was Florio who was like, at this point, just go with all young guys. Trade Myles Garrett and try to get 9 picks. I mean, they sealed their fate when they signed him. This generation of players is done because of him.
And it's a good point. That's what they should do. Just trade a bunch of their top guys and get tons of picks to make up for it. Absolutely.
And pay Deshaun Watson to stay home. That's the best
wonder
thing
where Amari Cooper could go.
Yeah, I know, right?
He's supposedly out there being shopped. I've heard that rumor a couple times.
You think there's any way the Browns would trade him to the Steelers? Browns and Steelers have traded before, but would they trade him?
If the Steelers went over value, maybe.
Yeah.
They'd have to go over value. They'd have to.
I mean, if Devontae Adams is a second, I mean.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying
I heard today that no one's given a second for him. Nobody.
I know. I saw it too. I'm like, wow, like nobody's offered 2, and I'm like, Steelers, what are you doing? Like, offer the 2, bro.
I also got some details on his contract. Not to get on a sidetrack, but none of that money is guaranteed after this year.
Right.
So you could cut him and not have to pay him, but then he becomes a 1-year rental for a second-round pick, which nobody wants a part of. But nobody wants to keep him at that money either. So the Raiders are kind of screwed in that sense that it's a tough spot.
You almost have to cut him unless you can work out the deal before. And this is during the season. So there's all kinds of weird tampering rules that you really can't work out the contract.
As long as the Raiders give you permission, but that's the only thing. And he's 32. And I've heard rumors the Steelers want to sign him long-term. I think we talked about this on the last podcast. Yeah. I don't want him around for 3 years. Maybe a 1-year rental. I don't know.
I could see 2 with maybe a third as that phony money guarantee.
Maybe,
Look, if you set the world on fire, we'll bring you back for a
That's
third.
what I do.
I do think he'd be a good grown-up in the room for George Pickens.
Yeah.
I do think that.
That's true.
Dave, what do you got for this game?
Look, the Browns can't score. They're like one of the worst scoring teams in the league. And there's 2 things that have happened that are really bad for the Browns. 1, they have a shit ton of injuries on defense. And 2, A.J. Brown's back for the Eagles. And Devonta Smith got cleared from his concussion. So they're going to have him too. They're going to put up tons of points. There's no way. They're going to cover.
Yeah, I agree. They get Devonta Smith, AJ Brown, and Lane Johnson back this week. They're
And it's
coming off
in Philly. That's the other thing.
Yep.
It's in Philadelphia. Like,
and they're coming off a bye.
they should get
This-
squashed.
This is another one that should be an investigation if they lose this game. I read somewhere where the Browns are last in third down conversion. They've only converted 12 third downs all season.
Yeah.
It's bad out there. Wow. Next game. The New York Giants are getting 3.5 at home against the Cincinnati Bengals. Who
And
wants to
no
go first on
Malik
this?
Neighbors.
No Malik Neighbors again.
Yeah.
Did you see
Wrecking
what
my
happened?
fantasy team, Giants.
Did you hear what
What about-
happened? They caught him at a concert when he's supposed to be in concussion protocol. That's a big
What?
deal now in New York. Everyone's flipping out. Yeah, they caught him at a concert.
Why can't you go to a? I mean, I guess maybe
Well,
the
it's loud
noise.
music, and he's not supposed to
Yeah.
be,
Well,
crazy.
I mean, if you're well enough to go to the concert, I mean, put your uniform on.
Well, he hasn't passed the concussion protocol. He should not be out. I think he may or may not have been drinking too. I haven't heard the details on that, but it's not a good look from the Malik Neighbors. Dave, you want to go first on this one?
Yeah. Look, the Bengals are going to cover another one could easily be another lock of the week. The Bengals defense got healthier and this last game, and then they got Sheldon Rankins back this week to help stop the run. Moss or Brown should play for them at running back. One of the two will get cleared. Gesicki might be back for them too. Like, guys, this is another one. No Neighbors as well. Like, I Singletary's still banged up. Now they got that backup. I think it's Tracy. Is that his last name? The backup for the Giants who did pretty good last week.
Pretty good last week.
Yeah.
He did. But I just don't see it. They're not going to have enough firepower to keep up with this.
Bob, what do you think?
Honestly, I didn't think the Giants had enough firepower last week, and they figured out a way to beat Seattle. So
None of us did.
I'm still going to take the Bengals because I do think Burrow's on fire, and this is the
Yeah.
must win of must wins for Cincinnati. They drop this game, then they should shut Burrow down and
Yeah,
let
they're
him
cooked.
go. Yeah, I mean, I would shut him down because we've all seen the pictures of he can't hold a water bottle and all these other things. So, but I mean, yes, it was a nice story last week in Seattle. I mean, not for our locks of the week, but it was a nice story in Seattle. I can't see the Bengals in a must win blowing into the Giants. I almost went with this as my lock of the week, but once Ramondre Stevenson was out, I had to go Texans.
Yeah, I'm going with the Bengals too. Their offense is humming now. What did Joe Burrow have? 392 and 5 touchdowns last week against the Ravens. They're going to put up a 30 spot on the Giants pretty easily and wipe them out. This was almost my lock of the week too. Maybe I'm underestimating the Giants a little bit, but I just don't think they're very good. And the Bengals are offense anyway is humming right now. So yeah, Bengals.
So much for the Dable can't coach crowd, though. I mean, let's face it.
No, he's doing a good job.
How he's winning games with that, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, the quarterback's actually playing semi, good football right now, which nobody thought Danny Dimes could do that. So yeah, give it up for him. Next to last game, the hated Baltimore Ravens are at home, giving 6.5 to the Washington Commanders. This is a fun game. This is gonna be very, very interesting. Who wants to take this one first? Dave, go ahead.
I think the Ravens covered, to be honest. Brian Robinson's hurt. Noah Brown's hurt. Going against a stout defense at home. Bateman, Stanley, Humphreys, they all returned back to practice for the Ravens. So the Ravens, health-wise, look pretty good. So I actually think they will cover and beat the Commanders. It's scary because of Jaden Daniels, but still.
You guys know that the Ravens have given up the most passing yards of any team in the league? 1,520.
Yeah, they're second in fantasy points to wide receivers as well. I think it was that. For the quarterbacks, maybe. I'm sorry.
I went back and forth on this one
It
so
is
many
tough.
times. I'm going to take the Commanders to cover. I don't think they win outright, but I think they keep it close enough.
Oh, wait, it's
I
the
don't see
Ravens. Ravens are to cover.
No,
Right,
Ravens
but
are
they
giving
gotta-
points.
Yeah,
I'm
they
sorry.
gotta-
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
6.5. Yeah.
The Commanders. I mean, the Ravens will win, but they're not going to. They're not going to
don't
win
like
by
the
6.5.
6.5?
No, I think the Commanders are going to at least come within 6.5. So I'm taking the Commanders in the points.
This might be a little homer of me, But I think the Ravens are really going to struggle against Jaden Daniels. They're going to get a taste of their own medicine. Yes, they see Lamar Jackson in practice, but they don't go against Lamar Jackson in practice. And I think Daniels is a good passer, but I think this is going to be a game where his legs are really going to make a big difference. I still do not like the Baltimore weapons. I mean, yes, Derrick Henry's having a great year. Their tight ends are a mess. Their receivers have been okay, but some about this Commanders team and Dan Quinn, I actually like the Commanders to win this game outright. It'll be close, but the Ravens they've gotten off the leads and they've given them back. They're not the same Ravens. They're good, but I think the Commanders are a little bit better, and I think the Commanders could take a real firm grasp of the NFC East this week with a statement win. So it'll be close. I don't like them by much, but I like the Commanders to win the game outright.
If they go into Baltimore and beat Baltimore, Jaden Daniels becomes a superstar. Like if he carries his team on his shoulder and wins, that's a big time game. All right, and to wrap it up, our beloved Pittsburgh Steelers are in Las Vegas, giving 3 points to the Raiders. We've made our predictions. Bob, what was your prediction again?
I like the Steelers 31-19 in this game. I think it'll be close. I think the Steelers will have to score a lot. I think it'll be 24-19-ish in the fourth quarter, and Aiden O'Connell will make a mistake. I like the defense to get a touchdown in this game, first one of the year. It'll be close, but the Steelers are going to have to work. We're missing almost all of the edge except for T.J. Watt. Isaiah Loudermilk is going to be rushing the passer from outside linebacker. Geez, I kind of wish they would just put Peyton Wilson out there and see what happens, see what kind of edge moves he's got. If nothing else, he could approximate he's probably faster than Herbig, but he could maybe approximate that Herbig speed. I like the Steelers going away, but it won't be comfortable. It will be biting our nails in the fourth quarter, but I like the Steelers to win.
Dave, what was your prediction one?
I got the Steelers covering. I said they're going to win ugly. It's going to be weird. 18-15.
Oh, that's right. 18-15.
Here's the thing. The Raiders' weaknesses fit what the Steelers want to do with the football. There's a lot of turmoil with the Raiders. Aiden O'Connell's getting his first start, which is not going to help. But here's the problem. The Steelers they can't put up points. So I just think it's going to be ugly. They'll win by 3, but it won't be pretty. Like I said, some weird score like 18-15 or something is what I got. Oh, and Jalen Warren got upgraded from doubtful to questionable now.
Yeah, I think he's going to play in this game. I think he's going to play. I like the Steelers. I almost hesitate to say this, like I said in the last pod. I like them comfortable. 31. I think I said 31-13. I think it's a big Justin Fields day. He's pretty much playing for his job, and he knows it. I think he has a big game. I think they go out of their way to feed Pickens, which they should have been doing all along. But now that, all this media hype against Pickens, I think they feed him the ball a lot. I think Najee Harris has a big game, and I do think Aiden O'Connell turns the ball over at least once, if not twice. And the Steelers roll this game. Again, if they lose this game, I'll be calling for Tomlin's head. I don't know about you guys. And not that it would matter, but he's not going anywhere. But
I'll be calling Detroit wondering, can Ben get on a plane?
Can we get Ben on a plane ASAP?
Yeah.
We have pretty good luck with guys named Ben in Pittsburgh.
Yep. All right, that was the final game. Anything else, guys, before we get out of here?
Last week. Go ahead, Bob.
I was going to say, Darth Sniper watched the podcast. He likes the Commanders too, he's right there with us. If we lose this game to the Raiders, our heads explode.
Yeah, it'd be a fun podcast on Monday, that's for sure. There'll be 5 angry people.
Yes,
chomping at the bit to talk. We might need a timer for that.
Yeah,
I was back to time.
I was going to say Leanne might figure out a way to apologize for Tomlin a little bit, but even she wouldn't be able to defend that.
All right, please subscribe to the podcast and the YouTube channel. Rate and review us, guys. We really appreciate all that stuff. If you like this bit that we're doing, we have a lot of fun doing it. Let us know in the comments. Send us an email. Let us know what you think. Until next time, thanks for listening to Steelers Sanctuary Podcast, guys.
Yeah, that's it.